Hello, everyone. My name is Holly, and today we will be talking about online dating. So, finding Mr. Right or finding Miss Right. So, this is what we will be discussing: is online dating. We will go through a reading activity and some vocabulary activities. And even if you're already married and you've already found Miss Right or Mr. Right, this is still an interesting topic. All right, thank you very much. Hello, is that Hussein Naga? How are you doing this morning? Good morning.
Good, good evening, youth. Good morning to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In our country, 7 a.m.
Uh-huh. Okay. And in
Very,
my country, it's 8 p.m. So it is still the weekend. So yeah, awesome. So did you have a good weekend?
maybe no. I I have in country my house. I was there
Uh-huh.
a little bit works at yard.
Uh-huh. A little bit of yard work.
Yes, a little bit
Hmm.
yard work, and maybe relaxing little bit, and enough for me.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
all.
so it was just kind of maybe it was just a normal weekend, boring, maybe a little boring.
Normal,
But
normal,
but
usual.
yeah, normal weekend. So not in you just didn't have an exciting weekend. So all
No.
right. Excellent. And hello, Giancarlo. How are you? Nice to see you again. And hello, Alejandro. It's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yeah, nice to see
It's
you again.
nice to see you too. It's getting quite late, isn't it? Is it 11 p.m. where you are?
Yeah, it's 11 p.m.
I'm starting
at
to
night.
figure it out. Starting to. So, but yeah, I think after this week, I'm not going to be teaching much later than this. Um, I've decided to make changes, and I'm going to try not to be a night owl. A night owl. I don't know how long that will work. But maybe for maybe a week, and it'll change back. Who knows? So,
Oh, okay.
uh, Kuram, good evening. How are you?
Good, and you?
Very good, very good. And Giancarlo, how are you? Can you
Fine,
speak?
Holly.
Oh,
Fine,
good.
Holly.
Yeah. So, Giancarlo, do you have like an external mute button?
External mute button.
Yeah. Do you
No.
use do you use the mute on your microphone and not on the Google Hangouts?
Oh, yes, but I've been having different problems. Last
Uh-huh.
class, I couldn't mute myself. I don't know why, but in this moment, I'm gonna try to mute myself because the
Okay.
previous hour I couldn't do that. Let me try. Sorry.
Okay, because because it's you have a quiet, you're quiet. It's we don't hear anything, and so I know that some people like this one guy from Russia told me that he kept getting kicked out of the class, and he was every time he would mute himself, he couldn't unmute, so he just started using um, the um, the mute button on his microphone. So it worked better for him. So I was just wondering if that's what you were doing, because that's what I do. I rarely use the mute button in the classroom. So anyway, the topic for this class is finding Mr. Right. Or we can say finding Mr. or Ms. Right. so um, I believe a couple of you are probably married, I think. But the whole purpose of this class is English and to learn vocabulary words. So the topic really doesn't matter all that much. So um, finding Mr. or Miss Right. So so Alejandro, are you married?
No, no, it's single.
You what?
Right,
You
I'm single. I live in
Single.
alone.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So you're single. Okay. And Hussein Naga, are you married?
Yes, I married. I have a cool son and one daughter. Uh,
Uh-huh.
my little son graduate at university. My
Uh-huh.
daughter also in university, but little younger son in middle school. Uh, uh,
Uh-huh.
Middle school. No,
Okay. All right. Okay. So your son is in middle school and your daughter is in university. Okay. Awesome. And so how long have you been married?
since 1903. Since
19,
1993. 1993.
1993. Okay, so I thought I heard you say 1903, and I thought I don't think you're old enough to be married. So
Yes.
so I thought I heard, yeah, I thought I heard this 1903. I thought no, that doesn't work right. So 1993. Okay, all right. And Giancarlo, are you married?
No, I'm not. I'm happily single.
Happily single. All right. And Karam, are you married? I think you are, aren't you?
Yes, I'm
Uh huh.
married.
And how long have you been married?
Almost 8 years.
8 years. Awesome. Okay. And Kako, are you married?
No, teacher. I am divorced.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So we all are completely different and on the old of the group. Proud, very proud of that title. So in English, they say old maid, and I'm trying to make it seem very, very positive. So, um, but it's just means a lady that has not been married and never been married. So, Claudio, good evening.
Hi, Holly. Good evening as well. How are
Nice to see
you?
you. Very good. Now remind me, you are from Brazil, right?
Yes, I'm from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro.
Okay.
I live here in Rio de Janeiro.
Okay. So we have in this class we have Alejandro from Argentina, Caco from Brazil, Claudio from Brazil, Hussein Naga from Azerbaijan, Giancarlo from Mexico, and Karam from Pakistan, but she's living in California. So maybe she's from California. So, all right. And so it's getting quite late for those of you guys down in South America, right? And it's still early for those of us in North America. So, all right. So finding Mr. or Ms. Right. So
Holly,
for those,
excuse
yes.
me, Holly. What does means of the old maid?
Old maid, oh, it's kind of a negative term. It can be a positive term, but it's basically for an unmarried woman.
But why it is not positive?
Well, I think it is. So, but it's basically let me show you in the image. Bear with me a moment. Maybe in Google Images it will it kind of will show. For women who are pretty much when I was a little girl, if you were an old maid, you were old and ugly and let's see. Oh, bear with me a moment. I guess I can't find any image. It's just kind of a negative thinking that an old maid would be somebody who can't get a wife, can't get a husband, not able to find somebody. And in history, if you were, once you became an old maid, you probably would never marry. Of course, it isn't like that anymore. But historically, if you were over 30 and not married, you probably would not marry. So they would call people old maids. Oh, she's just an old maid. And so historically, it's a negative word, but I think it's, and nowadays, being single, like John Carlos said, I'm happily single. So, but for women, it's a kind of a little more negative meaning to be if you're older and single. So, but to me that was just a joke that I'm an old maid. So it's just a joke. Does that make sense, Haram?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, yeah.
You can use Maid for the clean services, no?
Yes, that is one. So yeah, there's basically two meanings for a maid. A maid would be a person who cleans, a lady who cleans, or a woman, a person who cleans your home. That's one. And the other one would be, for example, it's usually a young woman who has never been married. And it's a very old term, and it's very old-fashioned. So, for example, if you're this is old English, you guys. So, a girl who's never been married is a maid, and a woman who's been married is a matron. So, but it's old English. It's not used in everyday conversation anymore.
Holly,
Okay. Yes.
I have a question. Maid is older than damsel?
A damsel. Oh man, that's even older too. So an old maid. I think they're probably about the same age. So, but a dom, I don't even know how old that would be.
But maid is is a synonym from damsel, isn't it?
It could be. It could be. I think so. Could be synonyms. Dom and damsel, yeah. But again, it's not used very much. Yeah. For example, a maid of honor is pretty much how it's used. You say old maid for jokes, and then you have a maid of honor, which is the young girl that stands with the bride. And if her friend got married first, she's a matron of honor. And these are the girls that stand with the brides, and then the other ladies are bridesmaids. It's like this is weddings. Okay, so you have the best man, and then you have the groomsmen. Okay, so this is part of the wedding party, the group that are with the bride and groom. So you have the maid of honor or the matron of honor. So this is the girl's best friend in a wedding. Okay, the girl's best friend is, if the girl is married, she's a matron of honor. If she's not married, she's a maid of honor. And then you have bridesmaids that are the other girls. And then, of course, you have the best man, which is similar to the maid or matron of honor, and the groomsmen. And this is part of the wedding, at least in the English culture. So.
The opposite, if you are single but you are a man.
It's a positive thing. Okay, for example, a bachelor. Okay. Now, in recent years, they have come up with the term bachelorette, but it wasn't that much. It's maybe 20. It isn't very old for bachelorette. That bachelorette is a woman. So do you see it's even red under here, which means it's probably not a correct term, and it's not in our dictionary yet. So bachelor, it would be a guy, but it's in at least in the English-speaking culture, if a woman is not married after a certain age, there must be something wrong with her. If a man is not married, it means he's just afraid of commitment. So it just depends. There's all kinds of things. But anyway, so
Holly,
yes.
Just a short question. The difference between I didn't get you exactly. The difference between best man and groomsman is that best man is a single and groomsman is a married man.
No, usually,
Those are the best friends from
yeah,
of brides.
yeah. The groomsmen and the best man are the men. Usually there's three with a groom, a bride and a groom at a wedding. Um, the men who stand up with the groom, which is the man, is the best man and the groomsman. Okay, there's usually 3 or 4. If there's only one each, it would be the best man. And the best man is the one that carries the ring, and he's responsible for getting the guy to getting his best friend to the wedding. So,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
okay, and then the same with the maid of honor and the matron of honor. For some reason, just like we have of course, for a guy, you guys are all misters, regardless of age. You could be 5 years old and you could be Mr. Smith, right? But for girls, we have Miss, Ms., and Mrs., depending on your marital status. So basically English has always been fairly sexist. So because for you guys it doesn't matter whether you're married, but for girls it does. So
So I got it.
yeah. All right. So several of you guys are married. Yeah. Hussein Naga.
I have question. Can you explain me, please? I didn't find this word figure out, and I don't understand. Maybe a lot of means, and you use because of I want
What
ask.
word?
Figure out. I don't meaning figure
Oh,
out.
to figure out.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay. To figure out. This one.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's a phrasal verb.
Mhm.
And it means if you figure something out, if you figure something out, it means it's kind of like you learn something. You learn something. So, for example, if there is a puzzle, do you know what a puzzle is? Okay. So you have a puzzle, and if you figure out the puzzle, it means to figure it out, you learn something and you also solve it. So you solve something. You learn something and you solve something. Does that make sense, Hussein
Yes,
Naga?
yes, yes. Thanks.
Good. All right. All right. So some of you guys are married and some of us are not. So what are some good ways to meet a partner? So let's make a list of some ways to meet somebody. Um, Anybody have any ideas? Alejandro, can you think of a way to meet a woman nowadays?
I think that technology helped too much. You are shy.
So what?
The technology, for example, the mobile phones or chats.
Uh-huh. So online. Oh, technology. That's what you
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
Technology. I didn't hear it. All I heard was shy. Technology if you were shy. Okay.
Mm.
So through
For
chat,
the for the
forum.
first contact are important.
Okay. Chats, forums, Skype for the first contact maybe of some kind. Okay. Okay. And Kako, can you think of some way to meet a partner?
Personally, to personally meet people at parties,
Uh-huh.
on the job, um,
Mm-hmm.
and by means of some common friends.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, and then you have through friends. Yep. Through friends. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
through
Thank you.
friends.
Mm-hmm. All right, Kako, I'm not Kako, Claudio, can you think of some ways for people to meet a partner?
Okay, Holly. Today I'm a little bit out of the the track to find
Okay.
some partner. I'm married as well today,
Uh-huh.
but when
Uh-huh.
I was single, the best way here in my town to meet some new girl was going to a pub, drink some beer,
Mhm.
and not exactly alone, but with a
Uh-huh.
friend, with
Uh-huh.
a male friend.
With me.
And
Mhm.
yeah, because you can find some group of girls, some famous groups, and share some ideas with them,
Mhm.
uncompromised, of course, and after that you can schedule another meet with
Mhm.
some special girl that you find on that pub.
Mhm.
And another way is as Kako said, asking to a friend introduce you some single girl, and
Mhm.
especially if this friend, if the best way, in my opinion, is a couple of friends introduce you a new girl,
Uh-huh.
because they are a red couple and this girl is not single,
Uh-huh.
so it would lead her to understand before to go to the meeting.
Uh-huh.
and
Yes.
but
Uh-huh.
nowadays I found some people looking for singles through the smartphone, as a classmate said before, and I
Uh-huh.
think that is amazing.
Uh-huh.
In your own home, you can find a girl of your dreams just
Mhm.
looking for by this smartphone.
That's I'll tell you guys how that I'll tell you about that later, but my brother actually found his wife through well, I'll just write it down, online dating sites.
No, it's amazing. I have a lot of friends who know each other through the smartphone as well. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I do too. I have several that have gotten married and stuff like that through that. Hussein Naga, can you think of some ways to find a partner? Okay, you're muted now.
Yes, depend, this in our country, my opinion is very depend on culture a
Uh-huh.
lot. Uh,
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, in Muslim country and in another religious, very different thing.
Mhm.
Uh, in my opinion, I don't prefer on Skype or from uh, from technology. Uh,
Uh-huh.
uh, we have never been married from this way, from this
Uh-huh.
way. For my age people, but
Mhm.
in our country, last days, very uh, often happened, in, even though marriage, very usually young people meet from Skype and
Mhm.
chat. A lot of marriages from this technology.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
uh, already not uh, rare cases.
Uh-huh. It's rare cases now, but they do. So there are some that are doing it, but not very many. So, now question for you, Hussein Aga. Do you guys use matchmakers in Azerbaijan?
Matchmaker, what it means, I don't understand.
Matchmaker would be either a company or a lady that comes and meets the girl or the boy and decides and finds them, and they learn what the person's looking for, what the family's looking for, and then they go and they find that person.
I don't know. These things know young people. Maybe they do it.
Okay.
In
Yes,
real, I don't know.
yeah, I know that that's very common. For example, in South Korea, even 20 years ago when I was living in South Korea, a very common question to ask somebody in their 20s was, "When will you marry?" And for me, from my culture, you don't know when you'll marry until you meet somebody. Where
Yes.
where where in Korea, you could say, "Oh, I'm going to get married next year." And I remember I had a student who was a dentist, and he was happily single, and then 2 months later he was married. Um, and and it was really common to just go through a matchmaker and have the matchmaker find, so the first meeting, you talk about, when you first meet the girl or the boy or whatever, you talk about what you want, and to see if it will work, and if you decide it will, then you continue on. So,
If
so
you know,
anyway.
if the young people also married from this way, uh, society looks to him not honor people until, but they do it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Giancarlo, can you think of any other ways to meet a partner?
Yes, when there is attraction, it doesn't matter the place because
Uh huh.
sometimes unexpectedly you can meet someone on the beach or maybe in a bus or
Uh
maybe
huh.
in a museum or I don't know. Sometimes we plan to meet someone in a
Uh huh.
bar or maybe in a party, and
Uh
you don't meet them. And sometimes you unexpectedly meet someone really interesting. But as I said before, when there
huh.
is attraction, the place it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter where. Okay, so there's physical attraction or there's instant chemistry, is what we'll say. Yeah, actually, thank you. That's very true. And Karam, do you have any ideas? What are some ways to meet a partner?
In my culture, our parent decided
Uh huh.
about the matchmaker,
Uh huh.
and
So
this is the,
families decide.
yeah, family decide.
Uh huh. Yeah, I've actually talked to people about that who have been matched that way, and they're happy. So yeah, I think there's all kinds of ways for families or for couples to get together. So awesome. So families decide, do they go through matchmakers, Karam, or do they decide when the
Holly,
children are younger?
Holly, believe me, they decide everything, and even sometimes we don't see each other before the marriage. And
Really? Oh
yeah,
wow.
the Holly is really interesting. I tell you, if you have time, can I tell you something? Little bit.
Is everybody fine with that? You guys want to hear about Pakistan? I'm fine with it.
We this. Can I tell you?
Uh-huh.
Our parents decide, and our parents see the groom and bride. The groom parent see the bride and the girl before the marriage, and the groom parents see the girl, and the girl parents see the boy, and they
Mhm.
decide what is good and what is bad. After that, after the marriage, then we see each other, and believe me, we are happy. We
Uh,
are happy. And in my culture, uh, after marriage, we have everything, and we only have one marriage mostly done.
uh-huh. So there's not a lot of divorce or anything like that. Did you guys understand her? So in her culture, the parents actually decide, the family decides, and the wedding is, the couple has never seen each other.
Okay, Holly,
So
could I ask her a question?
Absolutely. Karam, Claudio has a question for you.
Yes.
Does it works? Does it really works? And did it happen to you? To not to you, but to some people married with another people that these first people didn't see in his or her holy life, and they just find each other and just a month before they marry.
Holly, can you explain me?
So first of all, the first question was, did it work? Does it really work? Do their couples really happy, right, Claudio?
Yes, they are really very happy.
Okay.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
half of the marriage spent to know each other.
Oh, you're getting to know each other the whole time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. And then the second question was, tell me if I'm wrong, Claudio. The question was, has it ever happened that the couple, the families, put two people together, and it turns out that they already know each other? Maybe they met a month before on accident.
Yes, they a kind
Or they
of
went to
people
school
that get
together.
married, a kind of people that get married just after the first meeting.
Yeah. So no. So are there any couples that they meet each other and then they decide to get married with and they don't go through the family?
Yes, sometime it happen, but the family don't like.
Oh, the family doesn't like it. I know I have some really good friends from Bangalore, India, and their culture. I think that happens as well. What Karam just described, but the families want to be involved in the relationship, and they got married. They met each other and decided to get married, and then they told their parents. And I remember them telling me that their parents were very disappointed with them for not including them in the engagement. So, but they did go back to India, and they had the wedding and everything in India. But so, all right. So let's go ahead and read this text about online dating. We're going to look at 4 words. We've got guarantees, estimated, advertisements, and passports. So I'm going to write those in capital letters. Bear with me a moment. Probably should do this ahead of time. It just dawned on me I probably should. So, estimated advertisements, or does anybody know the British English pronunciation for that word? Advertisements and advertisements. So in British English they pronounce it advertisements. Okay, so let's go ahead and Alejandro, could you read the first paragraph? Bear with me while I move the PDF up so you can read it. All right, Alejandro.
Yes. Janet is a very satisfied customer. She has recently married Mark, a 37-year-old architect. She explains how they met. I was in my early 30s and fed up with being single. All my old school friends had tied the knot, so I decided to
Yes.
join an online dating agency, and it worked. Worked.
Perfect. Worked. You're getting it, Alejandro. You're getting it. So, very good. So it's an architect. So architect. So this is more like a K sound.
Architect.
K sound. Okay. Bader, welcome. Can you speak, Bader? Is it Bader or Bader?
Yeah.
Bader? Okay. And where are you from, Bader?
I'm from Bahrain.
Bahrain. Oh, awesome! I've never had anybody from Bahrain. Awesome. All right. So later on, I'll ask you to read. So, Karam, could you read the next paragraph?
Okay, Holly, what does means of early 30s? It's mean in 30?
Yeah, when you're in your 30s, early 30s, that means you're 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, something like that. So, and that goes for any age. So, for example, if you say you're in your 40s, 40s, then that means you're 41, 42, 41 to 40, 40 to 49, 20s, 20 to 29. Okay. All
Okay.
right. All right, let's go to the next paragraph. So, Karam, could you read that one?
Janet is one of an increasing number of people who have used an matchmaking service in order to meet a life partner. This is not a new phenomena. However, in the 19th century, single people would place dash in a place dash in newspaper created specifically for those looking for a partner. By the mid 20th century, dating agencies had become common.
Okay,
Can you show me?
Yeah, Karam, one of my feedback for you is actually to pay attention to the punctuation, okay? Because your pronunciation for for all of the words was actually quite good, but what you did was you did not after each sentence you have to pause slightly. So you would say, "This is not a new phenomenon, however." In the 19th century, single people would place advertisements in newspapers created specifically for those looking for a partner. Pause. And so what you're doing is you're not pausing at the periods, okay? And so you're just going on and reading all the words, okay? So number one, what is that word, everyone? Anyone? I just said it. Anybody listening?
Advertisement.
Okay, thank you. I was testing to see if you were listening to me. Advertisements. All right. Advertisements, yeah. So, all right. Advertisements or advertisements. Perfect. Okay, now so in the next one, Botter, can you read this one? This looks just one line, one sentence here.
Yeah. And that one, 21.
Is it in the 21st?
21st century, online dating has become widely popular, with thousands of sites offering the chance to meet Mr. or Mrs. Right.
Very good. Thank you. All right, and very good pronunciation, Bader. And Giancarlo, can you read the next paragraph?
Yes. So, how can you achieve success with online dating? While there are no estimated industry veterans say that the most important thing is the profile photograph. You need to promote yourself. Far too many online photographs are less than flattering. It's important to remember to smile. This is not a passport application. Ask someone to take the photograph. A blurred selfie is likely to do you any favors.
Yes, yeah. And then while there are no, anybody know what that word would be? Guarantees. So while there are no guarantees, industry veterans say, and Giancarlo, your pronunciation was very good.
Thank you, Holly.
And Kako, can you read the next paragraph?
What does means of less than flattering?
Okay, so if something is less than flattering, It means that it does not look very good. So if you're less than flattering, so flattering is very nice. If you're flattering, it's a very positive word, but less than flattering is very negative. So you're not looking very nice. Okay.
And sorry, and blurred selfie.
A blurred selfie. Okay. That one, I'm pretty sure we have this in. I can show you guys. Bear with me a moment. On Google Images, I'm pretty sure there'll be some blurred selfies on that. So one moment. So do you know what a selfie is, Jesus Naga?
Selfie, yes.
Yeah, because that's when somebody takes pictures of themselves. So a blurred selfie would be like this.
Ah, understand. Not good picture.
Yeah, that's definitely blurred. Very, very, so I'm not sure that these people would find somebody online with these pictures. So.
And blurred, and why blurred selfie?
Because that's the definition. That's blurred. If something is blurred, it's this.
Yes.
So you're not if something's blurred, you're not able to see it very well. So this is blurred. Probably a nice picture, but it's blurred. So that's why they said blurred selfies, because you're never going to, if you put this online to get a husband, I don't think anybody would be interested in this. She's probably a very beautiful lady, but we can't see this. You can't really tell. So,
Thank you.
all right. All right,
Does
so,
mean the okay.
Yes, Karam, go.
Veterans.
Veterans. Okay. Industry veterans. Okay, those words to go together. Industry is about the matchmaking company, and veterans are people that have been doing something a long time. For example, I have been teaching English for 21 years now. So I am an industry veteran in the English language teaching world. Okay. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so Kako, could you read this next paragraph?
It is also important to be honest in your profile. With an almost unlimited number of potential partners online, it's not necessary to bend the truth in order to secure a date. There is nothing worse than going on a first date only to discover that a potential partner had been less than honest online.
Perfect. Okay, as far as your pronunciation, it was very, very good. There's only one word that you it was the word truth. So it's kind of an oo sound. Truth is how we say it. Ooth. Truth.
Truth.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, thank you. And
Sorry, to bend truth, can explain please?
Bend the truth. That's
Yes.
to lie. It's basically a white lie. Yeah, if you bend the truth, maybe you say that you're you're a little overweight. In reality, you're very fat. So that's bending the truth. So that's one example. So, okay, hey Sunaga, can you read this next paragraph?
For Janet, it looked more than 6 months before we met Mark. I didn't think I'd ever meet the right person, she explains. However, the effort and cost paid off in the end. With the worldwide online dating industry earning an estimated estimated $2 billion dollar in 2013. It seems that there are millions of people willing to take the plunge and try to find a partner online.
Okay, very good. Okay, now as far as a little bit of feedback there, hey Sunaga, when it comes to this, you say $2 billion. Okay, so the currency to make in American English, to make the currency plural, you add an S. So $2 billion. Now, if it was just $1, then there would be no S. But that's it. Otherwise, it's always dollars. Okay. All right. Are there any other words or phrases that you guys do not know?
Plunge and
Okay.
potential.
Okay. To take the plunge. To take the plunge is to do what you basically to do whatever you want to do. So basically, for example, if you do, when you and your husband decided to move to the United States, the first thing you had to do was take the plunge and come to the USA. So that's what that means. And what was the other one?
Will wish of people willing to take. Willing, what it means?
Oh, if you're willing, it means you have to want to. So if you're willing to do something, it's to want to do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So there are millions of people who want to jump in or want to take the plunge and try to find a partner online. So they're wanting to try, to attempt. Okay. Any other words or phrases? So online dating and matchmakers are the common thing now, at least in the Western countries. Okay, where are we? So we're at about 10 minutes. Bear with me.
Will the popular in the second paragraph?
Second paragraph?
No,
Okay,
third paragraph.
Third paragraph. Wildly popular. Okay, so online dating has become wildly popular. In this respect, it means very popular. So,
okay.
And so you know what popular means, right?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so you know. Okay, excellent. Any other words?
About
Okay.
fluttering, I forget, please. Fluttering.
Excuse me?
Fluttering.
Flattering. Oh, if something is less than flattering, it is not, basically not good. But you have to do all of them together. Now, to flatter, okay? To flatter means to say is another way to encourage. But the idiom less than flattering would be not good. She does not look good if she is less than flattering.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So it has to be all together. But to flatter means to encourage. So it means to say, oh, wow, you look really nice today. But if you're less than flattering, you can't say, oh, you look really nice today. So, okay. All right. And it looks like we're, there's a lot of vocabulary activities that we just do not have time to go through. So I do want to encourage you to download the item. Remember, you can find this item on right here on the page. Just press on here, and then you can download the link and then do the activity. And Yeah, so just download it right here. Press on here. I will provide the link for you since I have it in front of me. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some discussion questions. So let's start with Alejandro. Alejandro, do you agree with your partner about the care? Oh, wait, let's not do that one because we didn't. Next one. Do you think that using an online dating service is a good idea?
Um, mm, could be, yes. Depend of the site. If it is good regulated or it's not moderation, it's
Mm-hmm.
very complicated.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it depends on the site. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, yeah, so remember it's depends on instead of depends of, okay? All right. So, are there any sites in Argentina that are very popular?
I don't know yet. Facebook.
Okay. Okay, Facebook is I have two brothers. I have three brothers, and one met his wife the traditional way. I actually they were working together. But my older brother, after his divorce, he met a lady through Facebook, and so that is possible. And then my younger brother, who's the third brother, but still older than me, he decided, oh, he was, I think, 37, and he's like, I'm still single, I want to get married. So he went to a website, and he spent, I think, a year looking for a wife, and he went on many, many dates, and he finally found her. So, and I think they married about 6 years ago or something like that. And his life has never been the same. So, Badr, I'm sorry. What are some good or bad places to go on a first date?
I'm not sure. It depends on the person, but I think the restaurant is good or cafe is good,
Uh-huh.
like that. Cafe or
Yeah.
restaurant, somewhere we can eat or drink something.
And talk. And somewhere where you
Yeah.
can talk, in my opinion. I think a
Uh,
movie, personally, a movie is a bad place because you can't talk. So,
yeah.
yeah, I think movies are for later on when you already know the person. So, Kako, is marriage becoming more or less important in your country?
I think marriage follows being very important in Brazil, even though the number of separation and divorces has been increasing for the last decades. Yeah.
Okay, so it's even though the number of divorces and separations have increased, it is still valued and regarded very highly as something that everybody wants to do, right?
Yes, in Brazil, most of the people has a basic education. Most of the people are educated based on Christian values.
Okay. Which would regard marriage as very important. Yes,
Yeah.
excellent. Okay. All right, and Jesu Naga. I keep wanting to call you Azerbaijan. I do that to Alejandro as well. I'm wanting to call you by your country. But Jesu Naga, is marriage becoming more or less important in your country?
Traditionally more important thing, and until maybe in future will marriage important thing. But
Yeah.
even uh, negative sides also has for if people freedom or freedom. I think for civilization more important thing.
Mhm.
Marriage, family, and in our country until and will in future important thing.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. Yeah. It's my country as well. It's still always going to always be very important. So how about Giancarlo? How about in Mexico? Is marriage becoming more or less important in Mexico?
In Mexico, marriage is becoming less important than
Really?
before. Most of the
Uh-huh.
people that I meet, most of them tell me, "Hey, I don't want to get married. I prefer to live alone, or maybe to have an affair, or maybe, But
Mhm.
signing the papers is the most difficult and stressful thing I consider.
Mhm.
Mm, and some of my friends, girls and boys, they don't plan to get married, and they say, okay, I love you, but I prefer to live in my house and you live in your house. And every time we
Mhm.
see each other, we want to see each other. We see each other in your house, in my place, or in a bar, or wherever.
Mhm.
But they are afraid to get married, Holly. I don't know what is happening. And try to, let's see, for example, mm, the all the couples that are getting divorced in these moments. So
Mhm.
it's a huge quantity of people who are getting divorced. I don't know why.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds interesting. A question for you about the people who don't want to get married. Are they still wanting to be parents, or
I'm
are
sorry,
they?
a bit.
Do they want to be do they want to be parents though? Do they want to be a
So
mom or dad, or would they prefer to just stay single all their life?
no, so of course some of them want to get children, but
Mhm.
in a free relation. I don't know why.
Okay. It's
Hmm.
interesting. Yeah. I think I know some people like that in Finland. It was kind of like that. I found it interesting that they were um, telling me that the divorce rate is lower than in the U.S., but half the people don't ever get married, so they stay
Yes.
they stay in a relationship and they're living together, but they just don't get married. So it's just a different way of thinking. So it looks like we're out of time. It was very nice to meet you, Baudelaire, and I hope to see you in another other classes. My name is Holly, by the way, and I'm from Idaho in the U.S. And the rest of you, it was great to see you again. And I thank you very much for your participation. And I hope you learned some new words and phrases. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Holly. Thank you
Thank
Thanks.
so
you.
much. Bye
Thank
bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
you.
Bye.
teacher. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.